Since the creation of motion pictures, war films have been a popular mode of storytelling. In 1898, during the Spanish American War, many films were made depicting the events. This was to theatrically inform Americans what was going on the battlefield. Take this clip showing the wreckage of the battleship Maine, for example. Now, this was not some short lived trend. War movies continued to be produced, but there was one moment in history that really stood out for the genre. Can you guess which one? Hopefully, you said World War II, and if you did, you'd be correct. Before the Second World War, America had this sense of security. No one would dare mess with the top dog. No foreign power would step on American soil and mess with us. I mean, we had two big oceans between us. Who would go through the trouble? That naive little dream ended on December 7th, 1941, when a Japanese airstrike hit Pearl Harbor. Suddenly, 17.8 million Americans were enlisted in the war, and that's 98% male. Wives lost their husbands, mothers lost their sons. How do you boost the morale of an anxious nation?
Once again, America watches its ramparts. Come what may, the guns are manned. The battle wagons wait. The sky patrols are on the alert. And once again, fighting men stand ready to carry on America's oldest military tradition, to attack the forces that threaten us. With all the men and all the equipment, we can hurl against them.
The most engaging and inspiring way to return the spirit back to America proved to be the cinema. During this time, American propaganda films flooded the theaters. Many filmmakers volunteered their service. John Ford was sent to Midway Island in 1942 to film a documentary. He originally believed that he would just be filming the soldiers' daily life on base, but the film would take an unexpected turn. Japan had planned an attack, and Ford caught the unexpected battle on his 16mm camera. The film would later be known as the Battle of Midway. But one of the most revered pieces of media was Frank Capra's Why We Fight. Why We Fight was a 7-part informational film series. Originally, it was shown to soldiers before battle, but Franklin Roosevelt ordered that it also be aired to the public. You see, this was a response to the German nationalist film The Triumph of Will. Capra's idea was to use the enemy's words against them. Let their fascist speeches speak for themselves, to convince America why we were sending their sons away. The films were released from 1942 to 1945, with the finale entitled War Comes to America. Capra's synopsis of the film was, it dealt with who, what, where, why, and how we came to be the USA, the oldest major democratic republic still living under its original constitution. But the heart of the film dealt with the depth and variety of emotions with which Americans reacted to the traumatic events in Europe and Asia. How our convictions slowly changed from total non-involvement to total commitment as we realized that loss of freedom anywhere increased the danger of our own freedom. This last film of the series was, and still is, one of the most graphic visual histories of the United States ever made. These films convinced Americans so strongly that men felt deep shame if they were identified unfit to serve. But the reality was, soldiers were experiencing extreme trauma. It wasn't a question of if you had a psychic break. It was a question of when, but that's just such a grave message. The American propaganda persuaded the population of the bravery and perfection that was the United States. The soldiers were depicted as heroes. It was an honor to fight for your country. So enlist today, Junior, and you'll come back a changed man.